my name is Emilie Duke. I am a master esthetician, holistic acne specialist, and I am the founder of Eskin Forte Holistic Acne Clinic, which is located in Ashburn, Virginia.
When you graduated high school, sorry, this is a personal question that I'm asking, not for, but when you graduated, was it like, were you planning to do something different before, or you kind of just dove into it?
Um, no, actually, I don't know what I want.
Okay.
I have no idea
Yeah.
that. I don't even know that job fair was, it's as esthetician. And usually, if you're like right after high school and
Hmm.
it's hard for us to find a job right away. And when, when it says, oh, high school graduates, like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know what's that, but yeah, maybe I should try
Yeah.
it. And then they said esthetician, but I have no idea what esthetician means.
Okay.
Who knows? It's like a construction worker. I have no, I have no idea. I just went ahead and jumped on it, and then they explain what it is. Like skincare. You'll do facials and stuff like that. And I was like, oh wow, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Since my siblings were in the beauty industry
Oh,
anyway,
that's cool.
it just happens to
Yeah.
be.
You've been in aesthetics for more than 20 years and originally began your career in the Philippines before moving to the United States. What was your journey into aesthetics and what ultimately inspired you to create eSkin Forte?
So I started right after high school. It wasn't intended, like I wasn't intentionally looking for to become an esthetician. I happened to land on that job. Right after high school, I saw a job fair, and I was one of those, like, I like to, jump on like opportunities. And so not knowing what exactly is the job like esthetician back then, I just took it.
Mm-hmm.
And they explained to us like what was esthetician, like skincare and all of that. And I was very happy because, oh, like I'm gonna learn about skincare, and that's how it started. And ever since then, I fell in love with just the skincare itself, like facials and all, learning about your skin, which is not a very common thing that, back then. It's not as much right now. Yeah. And so that actually kind of led me to work in Dubai as well, another esthetician opportunity. And then I went back home to the Philippines again, and okay, so and then I moved here, and that's when I become another again
It's okay.
esthetician again.
Yeah, that's awesome. How was Dubai? How did you feel like did the aesthetics differ? Was it different from the Philippines than it was in Dubai and then versus here in the United States?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think that's what's so fascinating about it. It's because you're, like you're learning different beauty culture, what's their beauty standard and what makes like where it's just like, very unique
Mm-hmm.
for, every places or, different kinds of people, what their interpretation of beauty and what like interpretation of self-care and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting to be able to learn like different cultures through one
Yeah.
similar career.
All right.
Yeah. And then your own experience with acne played a role in shaping your career. How did having acne influence the way that you care for and connect with your clients?
For me, acne has been very personal because I have dealt with it, so I've experienced it firsthand, along with my siblings. Actually, my mother, I remember her. I was very little. I remember her having pimples on her chin all the time. I saw her like, and my siblings, even my siblings, I saw them like icing their face back then. So in my thought, oh, well, acne is kind of normal, right? So I'm gonna go through that phase myself, and so I wasn't very surprised if I thought I was prepared for it, because it's expected. But actually, when I was in high school, I had my very own, I would say, really traumatizing experience
Mm-hmm.
during that time because I was 14. I was 13, 14, and I was a bit of like a tomboyish. I hang out with a lot of boys, kids, playing in the street and stuff like that. So I didn't really care so much about like skincare for now. I would say like they're on like middle school, right? And I remember having, that's when my acne starts really going, it started to come really bad. And it wasn't bothering, it's not really, it wasn't bothering me until there's this one instances where me and my like group of friends, we hang out on like, I don't know if it's going to be very different from, like from here, but we have like some kind of like Halloween thing where you go to like the cemetery and then anyway. It's a funny story because I remember I was with a group of friends and I remember someone was screaming my name and someone say, no, not actually not my name. Someone was screaming something like a pus face,
Oh
like a
man.
pus.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was me, right?
Yeah.
So I was like ignoring it. As we're getting closer to this group of people, she actually just started like, she like screamed my name, like,
Mm-hmm.
Emily, pus face. And that right there and then is when things have obviously like, don't know how to respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like pretend it didn't hurt,
Yeah.
because like obviously they're being kids. It wasn't right. But ever since then, I remember coming home and I started washing my face. Yeah, but that scarred me. Like I'm like 40 something now, and
Yeah.
that scarred me. Like, and that's just kind of, I think that was my very first experience, like understanding the emotional toll it could take on someone's confidence. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's when I didn't think of it like, oh, I'm gonna be an acne specialist. No, none of that. I just know it hurts.
Yeah.
And but the first thing I did was obviously wash my face the next
Mm-hmm.
day. I started like, I don't need to wash my face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting how personal experience can help us care for people more because
Mm-hmm.
we've been through it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we know what it feels like and
Right.
we're able to, better help them through that personal
Right.
experience. But yeah, a lot of people think of acne just as a cosmetic issue, but it definitely can have some emotional impact. What do you think are some challenges that people with acne experience that other people might not understand?
That's a good question. It's like an eye opening, the emotional toll it could
Yeah.
take. Absolutely. I think, I know people are just trying to be kind by just pointing things out, the obvious,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also very, sometimes it's better just to just like, if you're not being asked for advice, what I'm saying, unless that person like asks, I would not point things out right away,
Mm-hmm.
and because sometimes, let me just say this, sometimes it's, again, it's a different culture, some people become very comfortable just bringing things up,
Mm-hmm.
when that person who have it been struggling to kind of just regulate its,
Yeah.
its emotion to just make things like show up,
Mm-hmm.
so it's almost like every day is a struggle for them to, is it going to be a good skin day or is it going to be a bad skin day?
Yeah.
Just be more kinder, I guess, and yeah.
And it's interesting how people have different perspectives. Like one person might think they're being helpful by, pointing
Yeah.
something out and be like, oh,
Right.
what are you going to do about this? You have
Right.
this. But it can affect the person on the receiving end of those comments in a deep emotional way.
Correct.
What gap did you see in the skincare industry that inspired you to create eSkin Forte?
So when I start working here, actually I just started as an esthetician. And the acne specialist just happens again because I became obsessed with like understanding acne itself. It actually kind of brought me back to my days back then, my own personal experience because of this one instance. Okay, I have this client. She was high school and she came to me. Actually, her mom brought her. I actually thought she was uh, um, mute because she doesn't talk.
Oh.
She's very timid. Um, and she came to me. Her mom was looking to get her help because first off, just hair removal, and then like her skin, her acne, and you can tell that her confidence is like almost like non-existent. She's
Mm-hmm.
very timid. And I don't know, for some reason, it kind of like, it brings back that kind of feeling when I was on her shoe. And Her mom asked me to help her, and during the time already like starting to dig more about acne. I'm learning like the pathophysiology of acne, how it's happening, and things like that. She was actually the one that kind of inspired me to open up my own place, which is Skin Forte. I was working for someone during the time, and they weren't like specializing with acne. They're more of like a skincare brand. Like they are more like, what do you call this? Like they're more like skincare brand bias, I would say, like because that's the company. So in order for me to help her, knowing what acne is, I have to actually do my own approach. So I decided to open up my own place. I rented a very small room, really just because I want to help her out of my own expense. I opened up my own room so just I could start working with her, and she was my very first acne client that I've helped. And that's when I like I start learning more about acne, like nutrition. I started getting all the certifications and all the continuing educations that I can get to, like help not just her, but like acne clients and understand it more.
Yeah, that's amazing how you were able to, you went above and beyond for after seeing one
Yeah,
client, right?
yeah.
Over the years, what have you learned about the connection between clear skin and confidence?
That clear skin and confidence. So let's just say if someone has been, like what I have noticed with clients is this is unfortunate, because we all like look at like the social media and seeing all the beauty standards. It's very, very unrealistic. And up to this day, it's still happening that, and I always explain to them, like you want to do things for yourself, not for other people. I think for the most part, like the confidence starts the moment they understand their own skin. Not necessarily, it actually flip the narrative of like what is perfect skin. They're not even chasing that clear, like perfect clear skin anymore. They're just after like understanding their skin and what can I do to sustain that clear skin. Like for instance, they're okay now, realizing, oh, I have a little bit of like marks in here. It's okay, we're all human, like that's actually what it's supposed to do. A bit of, like pore that are a bit visible, that's completely fine. A little bit of fine lines here and there, that's completely fine. And that kind of builds their confidence for the most part because again, they learn to accept they're learn to accept their own skin, and they feel more confident like wearing their own skin, and they tend to show up more. They no longer hide photos, like with social events, which is happens a lot. They try to avoid social events a lot because of that, or like dating and things like that.
Yeah.
you know Now I see that all the time, how
Yeah.
it shifts. Yeah,
That's
confidence.
Yeah. It's amazing how you're able to walk with them through that journey too, like educating them about acne and then helping them understand their skin even more. Um, and you mentioned that you worked with clients through major milestones in their lives, from gaining confidence to dating to getting married and buying homes and starting families. What has it felt like to be a part of those journeys?
That is such an amazing feeling because being part of someone's, milestone like that, it's not something that you'll find all the time. That just goes to show you that you have built such great relationship with that person, not just in the professional. Yes, it's professional, but you've also imagine having someone, complete strangers, to develop relationship, like a trusting relationship where they feel very comfortable sharing you all those details that they don't often share to everybody. Every time they come to the clinic, they would like, hey, let me tell you something what happened. We're all like just celebrating things, like, oh, guess what? I got a new job. Or guess what? We're buying a house. Guess what? Like, I'm pregnant. So it's amazing because, like I said, it just feels very, I don't know, like it's a different kind of fulfillment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It feels I'm doing something that are far greater than just, you know, just skin itself.
Yeah.
It's like helping them build the person they are,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I love that. And then you're also building that long-term
Yeah.
relationship as well. Yeah. And what changes are you seeing in the skincare industry when it comes to how acne and chronic skin conditions are being treated?
That's another good question. Actually, I'm more excited more than anything now because I think we are shifting now. I've been seeing a lot of like more in the medical field are actually starting to understand the conventional approach and the, you know, nutrition and all of that. It can actually it's better if we are like utilizing them both together. And you know, now they're I can see that they are looking into now they're looking into like the importance of diet, which is I'm afraid to say that back then it wasn't like it's often like brushed off. Now they're understanding or they're realizing like yeah, the diet actually is contributing to that because obviously if your, you know, diet is full of just like, you know, highly inflammatory food, then it will manifest itself through skin, and that's just the nature of it, you know, because our skin is obviously right,
Yeah.
it's the largest organ, you know, it
Yeah.
will show up.
That's so interesting how what happens inside our body can reflect like on the outside of our
Yeah.
like where our skin is.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so kind of tying into that, you mentioned that nutrition and other internal factors can play a role in skin health. What are some misconceptions that you've heard that people have about what causes acne?
There's a lot. Yeah. It's actually because acne is a multifactorial. There's so many variables. There's so many factors that, you know, but not it's not always going to be just one. And I think the most common one is the misconception is dirty skin. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the most common one. Or you're not washing your face enough, or you know, like, or you're not doing this, or you're eating pizza, which is kind, kind of, but that's not just one thing. And I think those are a few things that are, you know,
Yeah,
a
so
very, very, very common thing
mm-hmm.
that's causing acne, but it's multifactorial, you know, like it's gotta be the diet, the hormones, the gut health, the, you know, like even the products that we're using.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combination of, you know, different things.
Yeah, it's so interesting because a lot of I hear a lot of the times where people will say it's one thing, but it can be a combination of all those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you see the future of skincare moving, and what role do you hope holistic approaches will play?
As far as like where the skincare industry is moving, what I notice as well is people are becoming more and more educated when it comes to skincare ingredients. Estheticians, you know, skincare professionals are we are not quiet anymore neither because we used to be just like we're not like influencers, so we're like just let them you know let the influencer do the influence thing. So but now we are realizing that we actually have to step up and like speak as well, like and educate clients people just like how we educate clients, so that way we can prevent those, you know, like mistakes, or we can people can prevent those like it can be costly mistakes if you know it could hurt their skin further. It won't help, it's just going to make it worse, just like I've seen so many times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had a few instances where a client will come to me and their skin is completely, you know, like it's really not in a good place, I should say it, because they did something that they saw on the internet, you know, and they tried it and they did it, and obviously it was not a very good thing.
Yeah, I think that was a good answer to my question. But yeah, I think that's why it's so important to, with so much information online, it's so important to go to a professional before you try, the trends that you see online and
Right.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then if someone has struggled with acne for years and they feel like they've tried everything, what would you want them to know before giving up?
Don't give up. Really don't give up because you need someone who first off could explain to you or make you understand your own personal, first off your own personal skin, your personal acne, meaning the type of acne that you have. Acne is very confusing if you don't know what you're looking. It can, it can look so many things because it could mimic so many skin issues, and sometimes you're treating it with the wrong, not just say products, but you're treating it the wrong approach could actually make things so much worse. But I would highly recommend like really looking for a professional look at your skin, and don't fully rely on skincare. Never just rely on skincare, because you have to also look into, because like I said, skincare is just one thing that could help. It's a tool, but it's not going to put off the fire, which is usually happens inside the body. So it's got to be approached from the inside out and outside in. It's not just because you hear that like term all the time. Oh, I gotta fix the skin from the inside out. What about that skin from the outside in? It's gotta be right, simultaneously hit on two different right direction.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then I feel like it's a journey as well. So like the
Yes.
skin has its ups and downs, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think with that as well, what's so beautiful about it, it's you actually get to learn your own skin. So when I say, and this is what I think, what I like about what I do, like working with clients one on one, it's because it's not just I'm relaying the message, I'm actually teaching them what to look for. And then I'm not going to just tell you, hey, you gotta stop doing that, you gotta stop eating that. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it's gonna work. They need to understand first why.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it happening first, right? And then you explain to them why. And then you also have to make them observe their own skin, because you it can't just be keeping an eye on them themselves, like on their skin. They need to understand how their skin is, reacting to products or food, or if there's certain lifestyle that triggers their skin. You want them to actually recognize those, because if I'm gonna just put it all in, like give them direction, then I'm just gonna be just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I want them to learn their skin, learn what are their triggers and how to recognize them, test their skin, and then just yeah, it's. I think that's how it should be.
Yeah. No, I love that you're able to educate them and teach them to look for certain things so that they're learning as well.
Yeah, you want it to be very sustainable. And I don't want them to be fully reliant on me forever.
Yeah.
I want them to be able to, like, okay, you're a big girl now.
Yeah.
Like, you got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when they have kids, it's something that they can pass on, taking care
Yeah.
of their kids, or if they have siblings, instead of just fully relying on. Plus, again, it's empowerment, you know.
Yeah.
The knowledge of it. Like you can read any, or you can watch anything on the internet if you know what you know, which is what I'm so grateful about the people I work with, clients, because they know it already. They're like, that's not true. They're like, no, that's not what,
Yeah.
And they're
That's not
like,
what Emily taught
oh
us.
yeah. And they even tell that to their like husband, did you know that? They can debate.
I
No.
love that. And then for those who would like to learn more about eSkin Forte, connect with you, or work with you, where can they find you?
We are located in Ashburn, but they can reach out to us like anywhere. We're Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, we're trying to be more active in social media. Like I said, it's because I believe it's really time for us to like be, reach out to more people rather than, I guess, be more visible.
Hmm.
So we could help more people and not just.
Awesome. And then as we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to add that we haven't talked about today?
I'd say like if they're struggling with acne, it's not that because they haven't it's not because they're failure. It's just they need help, like finding their own personal root cause and guidance to get them, like, and don't chase that perfect clear skin, they don't exist. It's genetics. If someone never had it, like, so yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Emily, for joining me on the podcast and sharing your knowledge, passion, and inspiring story with us. I wish you the very best and all that comes your way in the future.
Thank you so much again for having me here.
If you're a business owner, founder, or entrepreneur, we would love to have you on the Alamon Show. Just go to alamonphotography.com/podcast, sign up to be featured.